What's going on, everybody? It is that time again. The Sooners Illustrated podcast, episode 204, on this Thursday, August 28th, 2025. Josh Callaway, Collin Kennedy with you. 2 days until kickoff. Oklahoma, Illinois State, Saturday night at the stadium. It is about that time finally. High school football games are everywhere tonight. Collin's going to be at a game tonight. We'll get into that a little bit later on in the show, but we're in full swing. It is game week. We had the Monday show where we kind of set the stage for the season. Tom James and I. We had the Venables press conference on Tuesday, the Ben Arbuckle press conference on Tuesday, player interviews on Monday with all the captains. The stage is set. We're ready to go. A reminder that we're going to have the game preview show tomorrow. Tom James and myself setting the stage for the opener as we'll kind of lock in everything we're going to be watching for when Oklahoma takes the field for the first time on Saturday. For today's show, Collin here, first home game of the season. Who's going to be in town? The right guy to ask with our guy CK here. We'll kind of preview a little bit of the visitor list for this weekend. Of course, like I said, high school football getting started. Collin will let us know where he's headed, where Blake and Koviak is headed this week as well. And we'll continue to set the stage for the opener as Collin will give his thoughts and what he's going to be watching for when we get to Saturday night with Oklahoma and Illinois State. The 2025 season is here. A reminder that you can use the promo code SoonersPod60 anytime for 60% off. But right now, Collin, you don't really want to use the promo code. I mean, you still can. Don't get me wrong. Use the promo code. But if you sign up right now, fall camp or season opener special, right? Fan appreciation, 75% off right now. A VIP membership to Sooners Illustrated. So be sure to hop on it right now. If you forget, the promo code will still be there for you at 60% off, but you actually don't really need it right now. You sign up, you get 75% off a VIP membership. The season is here. What better time than right now? Sign up, be a part of the community at Sooners Illustrated. It can be a phenomenal season. We are so fired up. It's been a great fall camp. We've had a lot of people jump in the boat, a lot of new subs, a lot of new viewers on the YouTube channel and subscribers on the YouTube channel, the podcast. We're ready, Collin. Here we go, man. It is the start of the season. And make sure everyone signs up. Take advantage of the season kickoff special. And here we go. How good does it feel for you? I mean, you're going out to a game tonight. I mean, this is it, man. It's go time. It feels good.
I was telling you, Texas high school football opening day is today. All of you who celebrate, maybe you're an OU fan out in the Metroplex or something. Maybe you live in Houston. Right after this, I'm going to go get a little Whataburger going for lunch. I'm going to drive out, set up in the press box, get a couple of game streams going.
Are you going to are you a hit the concession stand at the game guy?
Usually, not always. Usually, Texas high school football stadium crews do a good job of feeding us in the press box. So
fair enough.
I will
hit or miss in Oklahoma. A little hit or miss.
Yeah, you gotta account for where you're going. But like tonight, I think there will be a couple of Chick-fil-A sandwiches waiting for me. Not gonna say no to that. Especially, I mean, it's a lot of caloric intake, but you go Whataburger for lunch, free Chick-fil-A sandwich for dinner.
Back-to-back meals.
It's all right. I'm walking on the sidelines. You know what I mean? I'm getting my steps in.
Yeah, no doubt. Collin's in midseason form. Is the weather down there as cool as it is up here? Are you catching a huge break tonight?
No.
It's hot?
It's hot.
Oh,
it's hot.
Okay.
I want to say it's going to be a little toasty. I will probably spend most of the game tonight in the press box. We're going into 96-degree weather this evening, which is, I guess, a little bit cool.
Yeah, it's nothing like that in Oklahoma right now. Everyone in Oklahoma knows it's been raining all week. The opener, which all summer I assumed 5 o'clock kick in Norman in the stadium is going to be just melt your face. It is 75 in OKC right now. The high on Saturday is 78. So it's going to be like a little chilly, I think, when we get to like the second half on Saturday, which is kind of wild. That's what we're working with. It's been a lot of rain, though. So good football weather around here. It feels
I don't know why you're trying to upset me right now. This is such a mean thing to do to start off football.
I'm excited. Man. We're ready to go. It's going to be a great season, and we're ready to kick things off tonight at the high school level. Blake will be at games. I'll be at games. Collin, is going to be at a ton of games. And the opener on Saturday. Blake and Koviak's going to be at the Oklahoma game on Saturday as well. We're getting him out there. So he'll be a little extra hands for the opener on Saturday as well. It's going to be a great season. We're fired up to get it going. And again, a reminder, the game preview show will be tomorrow. James, Tom, and myself to set the stage for Oklahoma and Illinois State. We'll get Collin's thoughts on the game a little bit later, but of course, we want to do some recruiting stuff as we always do on Thursdays. Collin, let's start with another commitment this week. Oklahoma's been kind of hot sneakily lately. Another defensive lineman with Teron Richardson. We talked about it last week going in. You kind of felt good about where Oklahoma stood going into his commitment on Tuesday. The Virginia product battling with the in-state school, Virginia Tech. But Oklahoma wins out. They get the composite 4-star. He was a 3-star composite when he committed. He's since upgraded to a 4 since then, since Tuesday. Again, Hopewell Virginia product. They beat the in-state Virginia Tech to get him. What does this do for this defensive line crop now for Todd Bates? I mean, you went and you added James Carrington. We talked about that last week. Obviously, you already had Brian Harris in the boat. You now have a nice little trio of D tackles here in 2026 after you only signed one last year with Trent Wilson, who's having a great freshman camp or had a great freshman camp. But again, just one guy. You'll get 3 here in 2026 now with Richardson. What's the addition mean? What kind of a player is this for someone who hasn't, heard previously? Kind of paint a picture for us here as Oklahoma, again, stays hot here with back-to-back gets for Todd Bates in about a week span in that defensive tackle room.
4 commitments in the month of August, 3 in this month being in the 2026 class, and all 3, if you think about it, being defensive linemen, Jake Kroll, James Carrington, and now Teron Richardson. And you said it, sets up quite the trio for OU at defensive tackle in 2026. And in this 2026 class, in my opinion, I think Teron might be my favorite take. I think that the vision here is very clear, and he's a fascinating player, man. We held talking about the guy, who he is, what he can bring to the table for a while, just because the nature of the show, but then also how this one was going. Oklahoma fans should be really excited about what Teron Richardson brings to the table. So, trying to sum up everything that this guy features to the best of my ability with the aid of 24/7 Sports national scouting analyst Hudson Standish, who you can read that scouting report on Teron's profile. Hudson Standish, by the way, listener to the show, I believe. I don't know if he's listening right now. Shout out to you, Hud. Appreciate you. Hudson leads it right off the top. Athletic, two-way, point-of-attack mauler who fielded interest on both sides of the ball. I'm getting back into the swing of things. I'm starting to write some things about these recruits that Oklahoma has been getting here in the month of August. I wrote the 3 things to know about Teron last night. And I think that's kind of where you start. This guy was being recruited heavily as both a defensive lineman and an offensive lineman. I had a couple people text me being like, hey, man, just something to think about. Yes, he's going as a defensive tackle to Oklahoma, but a lot of staffs out there liked him as a center or a guard. And I think I wrote about it last night. Obviously, OU fans might perk up at that and go, well, isn't that concerning? Shouldn't the consensus be that he is a defensive lineman? But I don't think that's what's going on here. Teron Richardson is just a very raw, traitsy frontline player. And he brings so much to the table that he has yet to be polished. Staffs are kind of looking at this guy going like, we can kind of do whatever we want here. And there's a lot of potential and ability, whether it's, 6'11" wingspan, above average arm length, massive hand measurements, impressive ability to redirect in space, the agility here as a defensive lineman. There's just so much that you love. He's got to clean some things up. He's very raw, but that's to be expected when you're out there in Hopewell, Virginia, and you're not like a Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex guy, right? I just think he's a fascinating player, massive wingspan, long arms, big hands, great athletic ability at the front line, a 52.7 shot put, was running the 110-meter hurdles at one point. And again, extensive two-way snaps experience. You love the complete athletic profile and what he brings to the table. And then, Josh, for me, why I get so excited, all of that kind of paints the picture of the player. I think this is an ideal scheme fit for OU. And he's got the ability to play nose. He's got the ability to play 3-tech. I think he could do either or both, which you love. But on top of that, Josh, we know that Oklahoma's defense, it's an active one on the line of scrimmage. They want to make these defensive linemen the focal point of the scheme. They call a lot of run stunts, which means these defensive tackles are kind of flying all over the place and pursuing the ball carrier. They want these guys pinning their ears back and getting after the quarterback. They're going to be active in pass rush stunts as well. Tyrann has what it takes to do all of that while, again, playing either interior spot, whether it's your nose or your three tech or however you want to set things up. So I love this get, man. I really, really am high on what Tyrann could be under the tutelage of Todd Bates. And I think Oklahoma, they put together a really strong pitch here for a reason and closed out over the hometown team in Virginia Tech. Massive recruiting win for OU. And I think Tyrann Richardson is going to prove to be a perfect fit for Oklahoma a couple years down the line.
Yeah, well done by Oklahoma here. It felt like, I don't know, a month or two ago, we were talking about Kroll, Davian Gross, and maybe a little bit of, Elijah Golden. Like, these are kind of the three guys still hanging out there. And obviously they didn't get Gross or Golden, but you do get Kroll. But then here they go. They find a way to get James Carrington in the boat. Now they get Tyrann Richardson into the boat. You make a couple kind of later additions. Like you said, 4 commits in August, and you're up to 18 in the class now. Number 22 in the 24/7 Sports team composite rankings. Like, it's just kind of inching together and kind of rounding into form of being a pretty solid class. I mean, all things considered. I mean, again, you have to keep in mind, we talked about it throughout the summer, especially. You go 6-7 last year. You're battling a lot of negative recruiting. There's a lot of questions about the future of this staff. So to kind of still put together a pretty good group here, pretty impressive. And if you can follow it up with some winning this season, who knows what else could still happen between now and signing day. But I think you have to feel pretty encouraged by the way this staff has managed to kind of land on their feet with this class, all things considered. After where things stood at the end of last year and certainly back in the spring and everything else. So whenever they went on that stretch where they were over 100 days without a commit, and you and I were talking about like what's happening kind of since then to now. Pretty nice job from this staff and from Oklahoma as a whole. So a lot to be encouraged by. Tyrann Richardson into the boat, right about the middle of the pack in the class. Like we said, he's the 18th commit in this group as it continues to round into form as the high school season gets ready to start. And obviously signing day about 4-ish months away, less than 4 months away in December. Looking at this weekend, first home game, obviously an opportunity to get some guys into town. Now, we know we've mentioned it here and there whenever it's come up. The Michigan weekend is kind of the huge weekend. That's kind of what Oklahoma's building toward. It's going to be college game day. It's prime time, ABC. It's Oklahoma and Michigan, and it's a top 20 matchup. It's going to be huge. It's going to be the biggest game in the country that weekend. Oklahoma expectedly blowing it out. Going to have a lot of guys into town for that weekend. But what about this weekend? I mean, you have a home game, albeit it's Illinois State. It's the first weekend of the high school football season for a lot of these guys. Obviously, there's a lot of big games across the country, so you're competing with that in terms of other guys trying to go to the places. But there are still guys coming into town this weekend. What are some of the names that you would want to highlight here for Oklahoma that'll be in the boat this weekend as Oklahoma gets ready to open up the season against Illinois State?
Yeah, not a ton of major note.
I mean, you got Michigan next weekend. It's just common sense.
Right. And I think that Oklahoma is going to utilize this weekend specifically as an opportunity to bring in a lot of 2028 and 2029 guys. I think they're going to bring in a lot of younger prospects who, I mean, a majority of them don't have the offer yet. So it's hard to get the fan base excited about that kind of visitor list, especially when, again, it's also still a bit limited because a lot of these teams are starting their season this week. And so the focus is on that. But a lot of 2028 and 2029s are expected to be around campus. The two that I briefly want to talk about, first of all, Bo Bentley is going to be there. He told me last week, whenever I went out to his scrimmage, he was going to go for the Illinois State game and just hang out with the staff and be around. So not a ton to note there. The guy that I really want to hone in on is a guy that, Josh, you may be familiar with. I'm not entirely sure. Xavier Okwufuluweze, wide receiver at Rejoice Christian out there in Owasso.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, I know the name. Yeah.
bigger, longer wide receiver prospect with a decent amount of offers. Goes to the same private school out there in the greater Tulsa area as Camion Compton-Nero, top 100 player in the 2028 cycle. So Xavier, I mean, he's been on Oklahoma's radar for a long time, but he does not have the offer. He's a 2026 again, who is planning to visit this weekend, and offers from like Oklahoma State, TCU, so on and so forth. But reading the tea leaves, talking to folks behind the scenes, this is a wide open recruitment. And to be quite honest with you, I think that Xavier has been hoping to earn that OU offer for quite a while, and understandably so. Yeah. Now, what we know, and I've talked about this here on the show in the past, is this new front office staff is rightfully going to follow a process. They're going to go by verified data, testing numbers, measurements, get all of that collected to paint the full picture of a prospect, preferably before pulling the trigger and making an offer, right? I think that with Xavier, if he shows up on campus, which he is expected to again, and he's excited to be there, if he shows up and this Oklahoma front office gets an opportunity to bring him in, check the measurables, talk to him a little bit, get to know him a little bit further, basically check everything out, well, there's a real opportunity that Xavier's getting the OU offer this weekend.
Yeah.
And if and when that happens, expect this recruitment to look entirely different.
No,
it's going to be interesting to see how this one goes.
Yeah.
I think the debate is, do you offer a very raw, traitsy, but very unpolished, definitely a developmental guy at the high school level? Or do you check it out, talk to yourself and see what you're saying, and then maybe look at the portal? That's kind of the debate going into this weekend with Xavier.
Yeah, no, very interesting name because, Rejoice is a growing program. They're small, right? I mean, I think they played 2A, maybe 2A or 3A in Oklahoma. They're back in my hometown of Owasso, and I was like growing up. I mean, they were very small. The facility improvements out there are nuts, and that program is rising. And for a point of reference for people, Xavier is the number 8 player in Oklahoma in our player rankings at 24/7 Sports. Like, he is a quality player. He is a Power 5 level player. And so very interesting. You said he's listed as an athlete in our database, wide receiver?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, that's a position we've talked. Oklahoma doesn't have a ton of receivers by any means in 2026. In fact, it's one with Daniel Odom. So, an in-state guy here who has talent, again, a little raw, would need probably a little time to develop, but a lot of upside there. He's an Oklahoma kid. That's a very intriguing name to me to keep an eye on this weekend. Like you said, if he gets the offer, could move pretty quick. Obviously, he's a 2026 guy, so it could move pretty fast. That's a good name to note there for fans to watch out for.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you had those thoughts and shared those thoughts, because it's all rightfully correct. And I think it's going to be really interesting because you have Daniel Odom.
Mm-hmm.
You just missed out on Davian Gross.
Right.
The receiver picture is a little murky. And this is kind of the discussion that I wanted to make sure I brought up, is it's like Xavier is, to Josh's point, absolutely a Power 4 prospect. The debate that's had, whether it's someone like a Tyron Richardson who may need a couple of years to develop, or an Xavier Okufulueze. Can you tell I'm working on the name?
Doing a good job.
Thank you, sir. So the debate that's out there in college football right now is, do you take a high school recruit knowing that you have to dedicate them financially and whatever else, plus a roster spot for maybe 2 years before they're ready to play? Or do you move on from that commitment and look to the portal to maybe try to get a more ready-made player? And I think that that's kind of been the debate specifically at receiver for Oklahoma in this cycle.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I think Xavier deserves a lot of airtime here on this show, because the decision that is made this weekend, I know it sounds relatively insignificant. They're bringing in a 2026 receiver recruit for a visit. They
Yeah.
may offer him, and it's like, oh, nothing earth-shattering. But, I mean, it has a chance to really shape the approach for Oklahoma over the next few months. So
Yeah.
I'm fascinated by this upcoming trip. He's a very interesting player. I encourage folks to go watch the tape and kind of check him out. I mean, 6'3", 6'4", 195 pounds. Just a lot to like there. But again, a guy that you would need to understand needs some time. And that's why I think a lot's going to get worked out this weekend.
No doubt. Other offers from Xavier, by the way, just to note, TCU, Arkansas, Kansas State, Oklahoma State, Utah in there as well. So, I mean, again, power four level player. Got an SEC offer there with Arkansas. Like, he's a quality prospect for sure. I know it's late in the cycle and, things like that. Yeah, I think probably get met with a little bit of skepticism. This is like we said a couple times, a power four level player. So good
Well,
win.
he's an 89 grade 3-star. I've talked about this. 89 player grade.
Close. Yeah, it's close. Close to 4.
That's big time.
Yeah.
That's a guy that has a chance to contribute at the power four level for multiple years. So, and this is, by the way, 89 player grade for a guy that there's just not a ton of information on right now, which is why I think it's interesting, because this guy could be graded higher or lower if more data had been collected on him. But he's kind of an unknown commodity that's fascinating to look at from afar. And that's why it's like, man, if Oklahoma makes the move, there's a chance not only that this thing could move quickly, they could get him to commit. And all of a sudden we're talking about a guy that, like, there's a lot of tools at the receiver position, a position they've kind of struggled to recruit at times. I don't know. It's fascinating. It makes the Illinois State weekend a little bit more fun to follow too.
No doubt about it. Looking forward to it. Is there any? I mean, we said it's the attention's on Michigan. Is there anything else like worth noting? I maybe not worth noting, but that has your eye, especially so as far as guys coming in. Like, because I know it's a lot of guys on the younger end, for the exception of Xavier there. Anything else you wanted to note there? We want to make sure.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, Bo will be in town, so
Yeah.
that I just want to reiterate, like, the quarterback commit's going to be on campus. That being said, Kendrick Morgan is a 2028 offensive lineman at Frisco Lone Star. I'm going to go see him on Friday.
Okay.
Among all of the other Frisco Lone Star players, and I'll talk about that in a second. But I'm not going to talk about a 2028 kid without an offer yet. That being said, I've heard that this guy is like a fan of Oklahoma, like really likes OU.
Sure.
I want to say he's 6'4", 270 already. So, and I mean, this guy plays for Jeff Rayburn, an OU grad, OU fan. He plays with Ryder Mix and all these other cats. One to watch for me. Ty McCurry is another 2028 offensive tackle who transferred into Southlake Carroll. No one knows about him yet, but I've known him for a little bit. And I'm telling you, I mean, he's like 6'6", 270, 280, and impressed in the summer camp circuit. He's probably going to be around. From what I've heard, I don't think he gets to play for Southlake Carroll this season because of a UIL eligibility thing. But I think that guy has a chance to be kind of the next Southlake Carroll offensive tackle after, a guy like Luke Wilson, OU football commit, keeps moving up, and Tristan Dare and all these guys. And then 2029, I want to say Sakura Cooper, guy that balled out at one of OU summer camps. He's from down here in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. Again, 2029, I'm not going to – but he's a really talented receiver prospect, already has a ton of Power 4 offers, and I think he's expected on campus as well. Look, again, it's a lot of really young guys that don't have the OU offer. So it is what it is. But for someone like me in my job, it's like, okay, interesting to know that OU's bringing these guys in now. You know what I mean? I think that's a smart play for a game day environment like Illinois State.
No doubt. Will be fun to keep up with over the weekend. And obviously, again, subscribe. Sooners Illustrated. We'll give you the Collin will be all over the updates as necessary coming out of the first visit weekend. And again, going into Michigan, we're going to have a lot of names, I think, to sift through on the show next Thursday for that massive showdown.
We might be doing an hour on the visitor list for Michigan.
It's going to be a lot. That's going to be quite a weekend, just all around. The team, the recruiting, it's a lot. But we'll get there when we get there. You mentioned it. High school football starts tonight. You're going to be at a game tonight. You're going to be at a game tomorrow. Our own Blake and Kobiak, who were very fired up. He came aboard with us last spring-ish or maybe the winter. we're pumped up to have him in season, especially for this, because he's going to be getting out to high school games a lot for us, and gives us some more ground cover, especially in the state of Oklahoma. He'll be at a game this week, at least one. And like I said, Collin's will be at a couple. Collin goes to multiple every week. What are some of the things early in the year here, or at least in this first weekend, that you're looking forward to as far as some guys you're going to go see, and where Blake's going to be? What's kind of map out the beginning of the season a little bit here as we get ready to get this thing rolling? I know you cover a lot of ground seeing different guys that OU has either offered or commits or whatever, but it's going to be fun to start to the year, it sounds like, as you're bouncing all over the place.
I mean, as we get into September and then November, before too long, I'll be getting to go to 3 to up to 4 high school games every week.
Crazy.
And
it's crazy.
That fires me up. For this week, we'll start with Blake. So he started with us this past spring. He's only been with us a couple of months.
Yeah.
And he's been learning and growing. He obviously hopped on the pod when I was on vacation. Young guy with, a lot of excitement about starting up for us this fall. He's going to be at just a banger tonight. I mean, it's Owasso Bixby.
Yeah, top 2 teams in 6A1. Yeah.
Yeah, kind of a good game. But the big name for him going into tonight is going to be Caden Penny, the offensive lineman, 2027, 4-star prospect. Oklahoma, Ohio State, Texas A&M, really talented player, guy that at times plays on both sides of the ball for Bixby.
Yeah, right.
Just solid. So he'll be checking in with him, and then Owasso and Bixby, they have some guys. So I need to remind myself where Caden Penny is in our rankings, because I think he's almost forgotten at times where he slots. Yeah, I mean, we have a number 51 in the country in 2027. So yeah, I'd say that's pretty good. I mean, borderline top 50 player.
Yeah, there's lots
over
of,
there Bixby.
Just beyond OU as well in that game. I mean, Bixby's got, Trey McLaughlin, linebacker committed to OSU. Also, we talk about Taj Overton a lot. There's a lot of talent on the field in that game tonight.
Yeah, I've heard Owasso's got a 27 quarterback that people are keeping an eye on. I want to say like buddy of mine at Kansas State mentioned him. Talk to some folks. Just that's going to have a ton of talent on the field. For me, I've got 2 games this week. Going out tonight to Richardson to watch Richardson host Lakeview Centennial. Going to start with Lakeview Centennial. Montre Jackson, 2027, 4-star cornerback. A guy that, I was in on very early in the process, started to drum up this player because I thought he had what it took before he had a lot of offers. Now he's several scholarships in. I want to say top 180 in the country for us at 24/7 Sports. 6'1", 180 pounds, runs a 10.6 in the 100. Raw cornerback with arm length and just, I mean, he's awesome. He reminds me a lot of Tristan Haynes, honestly. I think there's a lot of similarities between the two, between the track and field profile, the build, all of that stuff. And from what I've heard, Montre and Tristan Haynes have gotten to know each other. So there's a little something. Another guy, King Thibodeau, 4-star defensive lineman at Lakeview Centennial. Yeah. Talk about a defensive lineman named King Thibodeau. And by the way, it's K-H-I-N-G. So let's throw in an H. Why not?
Sure.
And we're going EAUX on the back end. So
got to.
King Thibodeau, again, 4-star prospect as well in the 27 cycle. Oklahoma, SMU, Baylor, Penn State. The list goes on. Interesting player, kind of built like a jumbo fire hydrant, like not this tall, long, lanky defensive end, more of the stockier built, strong guy that maybe could play on the end and inside. So interesting player. And then at Richardson, first of all, Jamion Winfield is their nose tackle who's committed to USC.
Yeah.
Nothing Oklahoma related. I just think that guy's one of the best true nose tackles that I've seen in a long time. I go to coaching clinics down here, and whenever Richardson talks at these clinics, they have to do like the Georgia Jordan Davis thing where it's like, all right, here's what we called ignore the nose tackle blowing everything up and pretty much ignoring the call completely and making this play. He's going to be awesome. But the guy on the Richardson side that I'm really interested in is, and I'm going to butcher the name, Jasper Nguerke, offensive tackle. So last year, this is an offensive lineman who didn't play much. He got hurt. He had a club on, kind of with sidelines. I went to Richardson last year, and he wasn't being able to play. That being said, 6'5.5", 290 pounds.
Yeah,
that'll play. 3-star prospect who probably, has an opportunity to rise with more game tape. Again, got banged up. Has the Oklahoma offer at Under Armour Dallas in February. He highlighted OU as one of the schools that he would like to continue to monitor in his recruitment, but several offers in as well. Florida State, Texas A&M, the list goes on. So I'm gonna see what's going on with him. I'm very interested to see what he brings to the table at a time where he's finally going to get to rep a lot. I think he's healthy. So for me, from more of like an evaluation perspective, I want to see what Jasper is or can be, because again, he's kind of an unknown commodity.
Yeah,
within the cycle. Friday night, Frisco Lone Star, Argyle. Pretty good game.
Yeah.
You got Ryder Mix, Oklahoma's tight end commit, going to be playing ball. Davian Gross, you just missed out on him, committed to Florida. Going to check in with both of those guys, see what's going on with Ryder, see if anything's still left on the table with Davian Gross. Bryant Robinson is a 27 corner who OU offered over the summer. Big dude, like 6'2", 6'3", 180 pounds, like jumbo corner type.
Yeah.
With, again, the Oklahoma offer earned. Baylor, I want to say Arizona State, a few other local schools have offered as well. A guy that has a lot of potential. Going to watch him. Kendrick Morgan, I mentioned. Frisco Lone Star's loaded. Argyle's got a good amount of talent too. Julian Caldwell's a 2027 receiver for them, 4-star guy. Oklahoma hasn't offered him. He's like Texas, LSU, Oregon, a few others, but a guy that I've grown close to over the process. So excited to watch him play. In general, man, it's going to be a lot of fun this week, and looking forward to being out there with a couple of buddies as well. Where will you be at this week, Josh Callaway? You're back to being on the call this fall.
I'll be making my way up north to Tulsa as well. It's a good thing Oklahoma has a later game on Saturday, because it's going to be a late night on Friday. Going up to Bartlesville. For those who you don't know, I think most people know who keep up with the show, but I am the voice of Newcastle Racers football here in Oklahoma. I get it at least once or twice a year. Someone will stumble onto one of our broadcasts and they'll shoot me a DM or something like, I had no idea you did Newcastle football. It's always like they recognize the name or the voice or something, and I'll get a DM a few times a year. But yeah, we're up in Bartlesville to open the season tomorrow, which is up in Tulsa. Some talented players for Bartlesville. I think they have a running back that I think is probably going to go somewhere lower level, maybe JUCO to start or something. And it's a 6A school. Obviously, Newcastle at the 5A level had a great year last year. So excited to get back to it myself. Be on the call tomorrow night. But it feels good. Feels good, man, to get out here and get to some games and get this thing rolling a little bit. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun season.
Yeah, I misspoke earlier. Want to clarify real quick, just because the brain starts going. Jasper Nguerke, I maybe that might be the name, does not have the OU offer yet. Again, he's got to put more tape together, but he did highlight OU as a school that he wants the offer from. I honestly think part of it is because, a lot of schools want to see him play a little bit more. Again, this is 6'5.5", 209-pound offensive tackle. So we'll see if anything's going on with him there. I'm going to check in on his recruitment. Hopefully we'll be able to be listening to Josh on the call while I'm out on the road, which is going to be fun. And Blake Ankoviak just tweeted out Owasso Bixby tonight. So
heck yeah,
getting going.
He's getting in it, man. He's getting in it. That's exciting. No, we're gonna have a lot of we're gonna be able to cover more ground this year, especially with Blake in the boat on the high school side on Thursday and Friday night. So I'm very excited about that. Blake's gonna go out to games all the time for us, and it's gonna be a fun season. I'm excited. Collin covers more ground than anyone, and I'm going out to games, and it's gonna be a fun season. So we're excited, and it kind of really gets rolling tonight with also Bixby for Blake and Collin getting out to a game and down in his neck of the woods, and it's that time. It's that time. Feels very, very good. All right, Colin, before you go, I do want to make sure you get your thoughts on the opener. I'm always very aware of the fact that, when we do these shows on Thursdays, we lean heavy on recruiting because, Collin knows it as well as anyone. So that's what we talk about a lot. But Collin also knows the team, and he's keeping up with the team. He's watching the games. He's dialed in. He's talking to, staff members. He's very plugged in. He knows the team as well. So I want to make sure to always on Thursdays get your thoughts on the current team. Illinois State this weekend. Obviously, I don't know how much we're going to learn in this game, and we'll talk about that in the game preview on Friday with Tom and James. But for you, what are you going to be watching for? What excites you the most about finally getting to see this Oklahoma team play? And then, of course, again, I think we're all going to say Oklahoma's going to win this thing healthily, but go ahead and lock in your final score prediction for Saturday as well as the Sooners get this thing rolling with the Illinois State Redbirds on Saturday night. What are you kind of watching for, and how do you think it's going to go?
Yeah, I was watching the Illinois State press conference and listening to – dude, I was fired up for it. He seems like a football guy. I'm very excited to watch this team. I'm putting together the first Know Your Foe article of the season. Reached out to a newspaper reporter to talk a little Illinois State ball, which fires me up. Let me shout him out. Randy Reinhardt from the Pantograph took some time to give our subscribers.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Shout out to him. So go check him out. All that being said, I mean, for me, this game is an extension of fall camp. This is basically Oklahoma getting almost like another scrimmage and an opportunity to continue to evaluate this roster. And I think that a lot, all 19 oars, if I remember correctly, on that depth chart was intentional.
Mm-hmm.
It was basically Oklahoma saying, look, still got a lot of wide open races. Let's turn the lights on and see who does the best job. Let's see who handles it well. And that's kind of what's on my mind going into this is, I'm not going to sit here and go all in depth on the Illinois State game. They've got a lot of good players. I want to say they're top 6 in the FCS AFCA coaches poll. So good football team at that level. But for me, more than anything, Oklahoma is going into this one hoping to make the most of an opportunity to settle some final position battles before that pivotal matchup with Michigan on the horizon. So looking forward to watching. It's going to be fun to see some of these younger guys take the field as well.
No doubt.
That's always valuable. And I think for me too, just getting eyes on guys that we've heard over the course of fall camp weren't able to fully participate all the way through, watching them get an opportunity to not only strap up and play, but actually go hit other people and what that can do for you on tape while you're trying to earn a job. So looking forward to it, man. It may not be the biggest game of the season, but it's a valuable one as Oklahoma continues to settle its roster before a massive season ahead.
Go ahead and take a shot at a final score prediction for this one. Really, when I asked that, the question, obviously we all are going to take Oklahoma to win by a lot, but how many points can Mateer and Arbuckle put on the board, and then does the defense allow Illinois State to do anything? Is really kind of what that question entails. What's your final score prediction for Saturday, Oklahoma, Illinois State?
Go ahead and give me 49-3.
Okay. No field goals for our guy Sandell?
Straight into the end zone. Touchdown Sooners. If Oklahoma, this is my game analysis. if Oklahoma can't cover 35.5, we've got a problem. Now, I think it's going up to 37.5. That's probably a little bit more accurate, but 49-3. Hot take here. Whit Neubauer comes in and have you caught these social media clips that OU's putting out with Whit
He's dropped some
Neubauer?
dimes. He's dropped some dimes. He has. He's tall, man. He can throw it around.
Give me Whit Neubauer to come in and garner a little buzz. I don't have a nickname for him yet, but I will after this weekend when he goes out there and pushes Oklahoma to a 49-3 victory.
How much, it kind of brings up a good question, just real quick. You don't have to go crazy in depth by any means. How much do you think John Mateer will play? And just kind of all the stars? Because that's kind of been the question I've gotten a few times. Like, what's that balance of letting Mateer, Ott, Burks, like getting them a game, but also like get them out? Like let's not overdo it. Let's not risk injury. That is kind of a fine line, a little bit of first game of the year with Ben Arbuckle. Like you want to kind of get guys in the groove of things before Michigan, but also like you don't want to push your luck either. It's kind of a fine line.
I would go 1.5 tops. I mean, what's the typical practice in the NFL preseason? Like when they have one of those, like, all right, the starters are playing preseason games, they play them for about a quarter. In my opinion,
something like that.
Go quarter if you really want to push it. 1.5 tops, but like in my opinion, second quarter should be, let's get some of these younger guys in and get them going so that we can critique and coach them up at halftime, and then really dive into the depth chart the rest of the way. That's how I would do it. To be quite honest with you, maybe a quarter is generous, but I guess
I'm going to just have the guys sitting this game. Just
probably. I'd be like, all right, everyone make sure you put on your bubble wrap jacket before you enter the stadium.
No kidding.
But I'm not going to blame them if they want to get the first teamers a little bit of burn. So I would say quarter and a half max.
For sure. No doubt. Well, that's cool. I'm excited. It's going to be fun. Ready to get the season started without a doubt. Any other game this weekend, by the way, that catches your eye a little bit on Saturday or Sunday? Is there one that jumps out? I mean, there's some big games this weekend. Is there one that in particular has got your eye on this weekend?
There are a bajillion. Someone asked me last night after I rattled off like every single game that I'm fired up to watch. They're like, give me the under the radar game that you are most excited to see. And I went Cal Oregon State. First of all, the fact that we're talking Cal Oregon State on an OU,
I'm not expecting you to pick that.
Talk to me. But Cal has a former 4-star quarterback who will be a true freshman starting. First true freshman starter at Cal since Jared Goff. You ready for this? Guess who welcomes the young man, the history maker, into Corvallis for some like old school Pac-12 after dark? Malik Murphy? A little throwback?
I forgot he was there.
I'm just saying, I don't know. You got Texas, Ohio State. You've got all these big games.
Notre Dame, Miami on Sunday. It's really got my eye. It's going to be great. Sunday night. It's going to be fun.
I can't wait for it, man.
Can't wait. It's going to be a great opening weekend. We're fired up. Be sure to be with us, obviously, for the game preview on Friday and then all day Saturday over on Oklahoma.247sports.com. Certainly. Sign up right now. Again, it's 75% off. And we'll have tons of coverage here on the YouTube channel post-game. Brent Venables, Ben Arbuckle, John Mateer, the team, instant reaction show. We're going to have a lot for you. It's going to be a fun opening weekend down in Norman.
Brother, Auburn, Baylor, Georgia Tech, Colorado, Texas, Ohio State, Syracuse, Tennessee, Bama, FSU, LSU, Clemson, Utah, UCLA. Yum.
That's a 10 o'clock kick, by the way.
Virginia Tech, South Carolina, ND, Miami, TCU, North Carolina on a Monday?
Yeah.
And then the main event, Cal Oregon State. But fire me up, brother. We're so back.
It's going to be great. Very, very excited. It's going to be awesome. I'm excited to get this thing rolling. It's going to be a fun season.
What's your game? What's your game that you're eyeing this weekend?
I don't know. I mean, Notre Dame, Miami, just because I know I can watch it on Sunday night.
Yeah.
We'll be kind of kicked back by that time on Sunday. I'm excited for that game though. I mean, that's a classic like rivalry. It's a top 10 matchup.
Yeah.
That's a good helmet game. Notre Dame,
It is a
Miami,
good
but
helmet game.
can't go wrong with Texas, Ohio State, or LSU, Clemson. I do think Bama, Florida State is kind of underrated too because nobody's really talking about it. That game's actually in Tallahassee. It's going to be in Doe Campbell, which you don't get. Alabama seems to play a lot of the kind of early season neutral site games. So actually, them going to Tallahassee. Not that I think Florida State can win that game necessarily, but that place is going to be on fire. Like that.
75 to 80% chance of rain for that one. What does that do?
Make it sloppy. That might help Florida State a little bit.
Actually, if you think about it, I will be fired up if it's pouring down rain and we've got Florida State Bama uniforms covered in mud.
Let's just get it going. Let's play today. We got some games tonight.
Nebraska Cincy's tonight, dog. Nebraska
at Arrowhead, strangely, which I had no clue was at Arrowhead until yesterday. That blew my mind. I don't know why that game's at Arrowhead, but sure, why not? I will watch. I think that's it. We'll be back next week, obviously. Again, game preview tomorrow, Friday, with James, Tom, myself, setting the stage for the opener. That's it for now. For Collin Kendi, I'm Josh Callaway. Signing off. We'll see you next time right back here, as always, on Sooners Illustrated.